How you doing there, JJ?
Good, sir. How are you? Good to be
Pretty
back.
good. So, tell me some more stories during this 20% decline. That must have been a pretty tough environment to be a day trader.
It is. The other thing is I don't like thin order books, and because of electronic execution,
Yeah.
these order books in milliseconds will thin out so much. You'll see six contracts offered, and then 8 points above you'll see two, and there's nothing in between. You know,
How long has it been like that? Since
it's
Liberation Day or
yeah,
before?
or yeah, I call it Judgment Day, like Terminator 2.
Okay.
It's another, this coach is just another example of another great margin robbery, just like COVID. So, you look at any kind of a longer term chart, and all we did was we flushed everybody out,
Yeah.
who was margin long. We flushed them out
Right.
real hard, whether it's whatever product you're looking at. People don't pay cash for their stock. Boom. There's the
Yeah.
flush, buy it all back. It's like a penny stock shakeout. And it's been hard. April was a very difficult trading month. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of times when the order book was so dodgy in the ES, it was trading like Nasdaq, and it was just jumping around like it was crazy. So there are a lot of days that I just
So,
didn't trade.
yeah,
You
you
know.
tell your people, especially new people that have no
Oh yeah.
idea
Well, the thing
what
is,
they're getting into.
exactly, because when the order books get thin, when the markets get really thin, the advantage goes to the institutional players who pay huge amounts of money for data, technology,
Yeah.
speed, algos. They have staff that monitors their tech. You're
Right.
sitting there with
Dark pool information.
you got dark pools, swimming pools, movie
Yeah.
stars. It's like, we're like the Beverly Hillbillies, but without the mansion. you know? And we're just sitting there, with a piece of wood and a penknife whittling, and these other guys are using lasers. So
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of times where retail traders just don't know when it's not a good time to do business.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we just have to be patient and wait. Now, one thing I've learned about telling retail traders is as soon as you tell a human being to be patient, they do the opposite. So what I
Yeah.
do is I hit the ego. I say, listen, be smart. Because if you're going
Yeah.
to be, if you're going to be smart, then you're going to be patient by default. You're going to have to wait for your opportunity, wait for that business setup. And what we've been really working on is, does the trade make good business sense? So if you are taking a trade, you need to explain what is the business that is driving that trade. And if you can't do that, you have no business taking the trade. And so, you put your trade in, like say you're doing a long, right? Say you're going long over $5. The premise for that trade is that nobody's willing to sell under five. So you go long 510, whatever, 505, 510, wherever you can get in. You put your stop a little bit under five, especially if you got a small account, because once the reason for that trade is gone, say somebody offers it at 480, well, you got no business being long at five, right? It's
Yeah.
really simple. So,
Yeah.
if you keep it simple, and that helps retail people envision what's going on and kind of visualize. And if they can visualize, they can trade better if they can visualize, and
Okay.
also managing expectations, you know. If inventory is above us like it is now and you're going long, you're going to get sellers all over the place, you know.
Yeah, I'm interested in what market profile is showing both above and beneath the mark
Sure,
in
let me
this environment.
take a quick look through here. What we've been doing is we've been rotating. Um, and what do we rotate? We rotate inventory, right? So we did a look above 5704 and fail, which targeted 5623. And then we did a look below 5623 and fail, which targets 5704. Now, because it's a Fed day, of course.
Yeah.
So we've got a market profile, which is what we call a P shaped. It looks like the letter P. The shorts are trapped right at the base of that P. Now, how can you tell the shorts are trapped there? Well, because every time you get down to the base of that P, the market bids. The base is right here at 56.43, which is coincidentally, and it's not a coincidence, where the primary 70% of the cost basis, the point of control, is right there. So the market sells down to cost basis. The sellers stop selling. Shorts come in and cover. Wholesale longs start to buy. Retail starts to buy. And then that third and fourth buyer are the shorts that are short in the hole. They start realizing they're trapped, and that pushes price up. So there is a sequence to putting in a low, and it's the same all the time. I've been trapping shorts, for 20 years when I did deals, right? You would induce a short, trap the short. That way you could sell your paper at a higher price using somebody else's bid to hold the market up, right? So we use the same thing in our trading, and everything that we have to do has to be justified with simplicity. And if the trade doesn't make, that's how we get rid of FOMO and tilt and all those things. I mean, if you were a
What's
baker, or
tilt?
tilt is when people blow up their accounts because they're down so much.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like it's like driving a car and getting a flat tire and then taking a knife to all three other tires.
Okay, well, you meant I think of a pinball machine. So,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you tilt out, you go tilt, you're
yeah,
done, you're off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're these terms, and they're basically just euphemisms for bad business
I
discipline.
saw that you have something labeled Skyhook. Is is Kareem
Oh
trading with
yeah,
you now? Huh?
yeah,
You
yeah.
got him
This
there?
is yeah, this is Kareem. Well, remember on Friday morning before the open, we had uh, we had an interesting situation where we took. Here it is. The news came out on Friday morning, pre-market, right? And
Yeah.
we took all this
NFP.
inventory and we threw it up here. And we defended that level all the way until yesterday. We finally broke it because we distributed above 56.63. Finally, we ran out of buyers and we had to put it on sale back down under 56.23. And now it was funny because in the overnight tonight, there were bids right at that same level again. And I'm an inventory trader. That's all I've ever done is just sold inventory my whole life. So then it helps me visualize what's going on. It's actually the business, right? I mean, it's not like one in the morning we're selling gold contracts, and in the afternoon we've got a sandwich shop, and at night we're running a massage parlor. It's the same business. So the same thing happens on every single time frame: long term, medium term, short term, right? So the chart, that chart is pretty much the same as this chart. We're just managing and looking at the distribution and accumulation of inventory here on a minute basis, here on a daily basis. So that
Okay.
helps us, keep us from losing our head and shorting, you know, getting short in the hole here because we're looking for that move up if we come up over 23, right? That tells us not to short. That goes go long, put your stop here, look for 63 as a target for the larger trader. We do the same
Yeah,
thing.
I tell you what, anyone who went home long and the market closed okay on Liberation Day. You want to
Hmm.
show that candle just for the heck of it. We closed good that day before
What
the
day was?
announcement. People didn't
Yeah.
have a chance to get out, buddy.
Yeah. Oh no
I
no
think it was
no.
April 12th or something.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was
It
just.
closed good and
Yeah.
then just gap lower
Yeah.
on uh, his
You know.
whiteboard, showing
And
his
then
whiteboard. Yeah,
and then this day here, I believe it was the ninth. You had a 500 point range in the ES.
yeah,
That's like walking down the street and seeing a woolly mammoth just kind of casually walk by.
yeah.
That is historic stuff, and very hard for retail traders to trade. I mean, you're trading
I
a
think they
small
called
account.
it a three sigma event. Do you know what that means? It's kind
I,
of like the sigma when they
I,
bring that
I
up.
I am not familiar with that, Coach. You
Yeah,
remember, I'm
it's
an
kind
old.
of like an earthquake, only they
It's like
measure it
on
instant. Yeah,
instead of the Richter scale.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm an old eye
Well,
guy, dude.
unless
What I
it's
do?
fraternity.
I just
Uh,
find the bid and work off it. We
okay.
we short it down to the bid. When we find the bid, we cover. And if we're not short, when we find the bid, we go long. We put our stop underneath the bid and sell into strength. And the most important thing is to manage our risk during these times. So you wait for those nice setups that you've practiced. You wait for that, where the trade makes sense, right? And when you're looking for a trade and you know the trade makes sense, then you take it, you put your insurance in, which is the stop, right? So you're going long at 5, you put your stop at 490. That's your insurance policy. You've paid your premium. Larger traders can maybe use a bigger stop because they've got more money to work with. But generally you have to put in your trade and then put in your insurance. And
Yeah.
that's like, if you were
At,
buying 1,000 TVs from
at the
China,
same time.
you gotta insure them, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
this is the only business that allows you to purchase insurance on every transaction.
so let me ask you, has volume, liquidity, is it improving now that ranges are a little bit more compressed, or
It,
is it
it's it's
even
it's
worse?
no, it's getting better. The ES is getting better. I only trade the ES
Yeah.
because I'm almost 60 years old now. I can't believe it, but I like to trade one thing and know it well. But I do track, like I'm looking at Tesla here, Nvidia here, and what I'm hoping for is things kind of calm down and we can get back to business without all this drama. You know,
Oh, well,
uh,
forget that.
yeah,
You
you
really
know.
think things are going to calm
I,
down?
I I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they do for the stability of the U.S. markets.
Uh-huh.
But what the one thing I've got to say is, even with the 500-point range day in the ES, it's a testament to the stability of the markets because we never had a limit down. The clearing system worked, right? You didn't see brokerage firms going out of business.
That's really
Uh,
a good point.
and we got T+1 now, so it's not like they don't. You only have one day to clear those trades. They
Right.
come out on act, and you got to clear them and match up, and everything kind of withstood the test, which I think is a testament to the stability and the clearing and settlement and the plumbing of the U.S. markets, what nobody ever talks about.
Yeah.
But
They're always looking at the negatives.
yeah, I mean, I think the U.S. markets are a beautiful thing, and I grew up, going through the sores of the penny stock market and
Oh,
knowing
yeah.
cross-border
You're in
clearing. And
Vancouver. Yeah.
hey, listen, if you need to hide a short position in Switzerland for a year, I'm your guy. Um,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Everyone's moving. Everyone's buying Swiss francs. And, you
yeah.
know, uh, do you take the dollar into account?
I look at it, but I do not have the macro knowledge, so I
Yeah.
don't purport. I mean, I listen to guys like that's what I came in a little earlier to listen to you guys because I get knowledge about macro and things from people like you, and then I listen to the guy who wears the scarf. What's his name? Raoul Pal, and
Oh, yeah.
I call him Scarf Guy.
Yeah.
And I listen to the macro guys to try and learn. I can't trade macro because I'm a day
No,
trader.
no one can. Not, the
Yeah.
macro guys can't trade it. It's
And
not actionable. It's not actionable stuff. It's
you know,
all narrative.
I need to know where to put my buy, my stop,
Yeah.
and where I have a good chance of selling into some strength and making sure that I sell before the competition grabs my
But
customer.
you'll sound smart at at a cocktail party
Yeah, well, and I don't
with
get
that
invited.
stuff, right?
I'm in Liverpool, so I don't get invited to a lot of cocktail parties.
Really?
Um,
The Beatles don't invite you. Okay. So one lesson that maybe a new lesson you learned over the past quarter with what we've seen and what we may continue to see.
one lesson I've learned is that one gentleman can really affect markets in a major way. I honestly did not think that we would have such volatility. I mean, I was completely blown away. And then what it did for me, number one, I got a respect for the clearing system. Number two, I learned to respect this market because when you have
The
200-point
power.
ranges, 500-point ranges, that's like
Yeah.
being big. Like that's like those guys who surf in Portugal at Nazare, those
Yeah.
60,
They're
80
big
foot waves,
waves. Yeah.
and sometimes you just got to sit on the beach, you know,
I like
um,
that.
sometimes you just got to sit and watch, let the billionaires sort it out. And then once
Yeah.
they sort it out, it's like in Vancouver, we have this game when you go to when you go to dinner with these, mining promoters and stock
Yeah.
promoters, they'll go out and they'll order all sorts of really expensive food. When the bill comes, you got to make sure you disappear, or else they'll nail you with a $4,000 dinner bill. So
Huh. Yeah.
that's a game they play in
Yeah.
Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
So when it gets really volatile, let the really rich large traders forge the path and work it out, and then go in and execute afterwards.
Yeah. I like
So
that sit on the beach metaphor.
yeah,
And if you're one of those guys out there on a board, they don't try and catch every wave.
exactly,
They're
exactly.
patient and wait for the right setup.
Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
is about the setup, and the discipline. And that was the hardest thing for me when I started retail trading because, I was a paper hanger. I'd sell stock all day and then go home.
Yeah.
But retail trading requires an enormous amount of discipline. And that was the hardest thing for me to do, was to discipline myself and then find a setup and test it and watch and wait and see and have the humility. And I really think in this year, humility is going to be our best risk management.
Okay. Do you have humility about the public companies that you're working on bringing to market?
Definitely,
They're not
definitely.
public yet, are they?
No, no, nothing's public yet, but I am working on a few deals, and
Where are you going to start? On the bulletin board?
yeah, we'll go for a pink
The
sheet listing.
pink sheet? You're going to be
One
on
of
the
them,
pinks?
yeah, one of them will have the assets and the revenue for Nasdaq, which
Oh,
which
cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do everything from about $30 down, but
Okay.
this time I'm doing it right, and I'm taking my time, and no crazy business partners. I got a bunch of young guys that I trust, and I'm training them. Like get them young and train them like a bird dog. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are looking for a pretty strong market into August. Maybe you'll
hmm
be able to float it by the fall.
I think so. I'm hoping so.
Don't forget, you need my address for the free trading and restricted.
Listen, Coach, you're getting a cert. Don't worry about it.
All right. Okay.
No.
That's all I want because I could mention the stock. Anyway, uh, always looking for a deal. So,
Always. Hey,
hey,
exactly.
that, really, that's how most people really became rich by having a vehicle like a public company.
Yeah, and
Because you're the Fed, you have your own
yeah,
printing press, right?
exactly. Your paper's 15 cents a pound.
Yeah.
You
Well, we'll
know.
see. Depends where we get it from now, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I
you
didn't know.
get,
I didn't read up on tariffs on paper.
I don't know where we get our paper from. If it's Canadian lumber, who knows?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're getting a nice compliment here. Um, Galaxy likes you. So how do people find you if they are attracted to your
Uh,
demeanor and
I'm VWAP Trader One
okay,
on Twitter, on X,
okay, there he is.
and our website is. We changed our name to the Trading Syndicate, but if you go to Micro E Futures, it'll take you right to the Trading Syndicate.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And JJ is a uh, lamb in wolf's clothing, which is the opposite of what you should be worried about. Okay, he looks like a wolf, but he's a lamb, right?
Hey,
Instead of being a wolf and trying to look like a lamb.
like I say, every time a retail trader makes money, an old paper hanger like me gets his wings. You know,
Oh
uh,
man, I tell you
you know,
what, I must have like I don't know, at least
you
a
know,
couple wings.
exactly.
Could at least fly away,
You
because
know.
I've always wanted to be an eagle. I had a group of traders. We called it the Eagle's Nest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So JJ, always great catching up with you, man.
Thank you, Coach. I
I'm
really
glad you didn't
appreciate
get
it.
hurt and everything's cool. I think a lot of people um, made some bad mistakes during
It's
that
it's it's
time
it's
frame.
been a tough market, and I my heart goes out to everyone who got clipped. But that's the thing about this business. We got to just get back up on the horse and dust ourselves off,
Next,
and off we go again.
next. Yeah.
Yep.
Look, it happens all the time. I was shorting gold yesterday. I made a few bucks and then also got stopped out at the remainder um, a half a day early. You look at
Well,
it today, right?
yeah.
So right the market, wrong the trade. Does that happen to your people much?
Oh
They're
yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just part of the business.
Yeah, it's just, that's just part of the business. It's the guys over at Shadow Trader, Brad Agunis has this great saying, sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue. And I love that saying. He's a
Huh?
great guy. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
great
that's
guy.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And again, look, I grew up in Chicago, where it's, I think, the pigeon capital of the world.
Yeah.
You see, they're dropping bombs on your windshield all the time. So anyway, JJ, good to hear you, bro. I'm glad you're doing okay,
Thank you,
and
coach.
we'll get back together in the summer. If you need me for
Anytime.
anything, feel free to DM me.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day.
All right,
All right.
that's JJ, and you can find him at VWAP Trader One, and the guy's a pro. All right, so he was a market maker. So
Thank
that's
you,
a
sir.
wrap, right? You were a market maker, and
Well,
he
yeah,
even
yeah. I was a liquidator. I fed market makers.
all right, a
Yeah.
liquidator. He
Yeah.
knows he knew how to track bids and offers.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's a wrap, and you could join the team in about 20 minutes. Good luck with the Fed today. And remember, there's no law that you have to trade today. You could also just sit back, let the dust settle, right? And
Definitely.
I'll see everyone tomorrow. Don't just count your pips or your points, count your blessings. Okay. Today is a good day to die. And I'll leave you with that thought. Live each day like it could be your last. Okay. Because we don't know. Anyway, talk to everyone tomorrow. Good luck. And I'll see everyone tomorrow.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Forex Analytics. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.